Welcome to the NUMIN API tutorial. This walkthrough demonstrates how to use the Python API package to interact with the NUMIN platform for algorithmic trading. First, we'll cover installation. Simply run pip install NUMIN in your terminal. You can find more information and the full API documentation on PyPI. Next, let's get started with the code. We begin by importing the necessary library. Then initialize the API client using your API key. Remember to replace your API keys with your actual API key. The core functionality revolves around fetching data and submitting predictions. Let's explore the different data types available and how data is fetched via the API. Use the getData function to download historical data for training your model. This data is crucial for developing your trading strategy if you plan to train a machine learning model. You'll save this data locally for later use. For now, we are not focusing on machine learning-based strategies. Get the current round number using the getCurrentJudgeRound function. This is essential for tracking your progress and ensuring you're submitting predictions for the correct round. To get data for the current live trading round, use the getData function. This is the data your model will use to generate predictions for the current round. Access validation data with the getData function, passing the data type as validation data. This data allows you to evaluate your strategy's performance on past data. We'll go into its use later. Let's see what is involved in making and submitting predictions. The end-to-end example provides a simple sell strategy via a process round data function. This function generates predictions, always selling, which is then saved to a CSV and submitted using the submit predictions function. The prediction process involves the following steps. 1. Initializes the API client. 2. Downloads training data. Note this is needed only if you are training a machine learning strategy. 3. Develop a prediction strategy, in this case a simple buy strategy, implemented as a process round data function. Let's take a closer look at how this function needs to be structured. Note that the function returns a data frame containing for each stock ID predictions between 0 and 4. Here, A0, i.e. sell, is always returned. The data frame should also include the stop loss and profit target. Here, each are 1%. Finally, the time limit column indicates how long to keep a position open. Here, a value of 10 indicates 10 candles, i.e. 50 minutes. Finally, a column indicating which round you are submitting the predictions for. Note that the column names must be as indicated here. Note also that if your submissions are late and the current round has changed, your predictions will not be accepted and the Submit API will give an error. You typically have just under 5 minutes to submit predictions for the current round before the next round starts. An actual strategy would return predictions and also possible stop, target, and time limit values based on values in the round data, e.g. technical indicators such as momentum, RSI, etc., rather than fixed values as in this simple example. On the other hand, a machine learning strategy would learn a complex function of the round data, including such indicators, as well as possibly historical values since from earlier in the day or even the previous day, to decide what predictions and other values to return. Let's continue with how the prediction process needs to proceed. 4. Fetches current round data. 5. Generates predictions using the model. 6. Saves the predictions to a CSV file. 7. Submits the predictions to the NUMIN platform. Remember to replace placeholders like path to save and path to submission with actual file paths. Now let's run the above steps in a loop. The complete prediction loop shown here repeats the above process for a specified number of rounds. Note that it includes a sleep function to avoid overloading the API and to wait for new round data to be available. You can run this loop from any machine on the internet, including your laptop, to keep making predictions. Once your strategy starts making regular predictions, its performance can be visualized on the NUMIN site via the submissions page as well as on the leaderboard. Later, we will see how you can deploy your strategy to run on NUMIN's servers instead of your own machine. Now we turn to backtesting. Backtesting in algorithmic trading is the process of testing a strategy using historical data to see how it would have performed. It helps traders evaluate effectiveness before risking real money. Using the NUMIN API, you can backtest your strategy before going live. Validation dates. Use the Get Validation Dates function to obtain a list of dates for which validation data is available. This is helpful for planning backtesting. The Run Backtest function allows for backtesting your strategy using historical data. You supply your strategy function, a date, or optionally a validation data file already downloaded, and the desired result type. The Display Results function helps visualize and analyze the backtesting results. Make sure to use the correct validation data corresponding to the backtest date. Note how each entry and exit is listed. Note how some exits are after 10 steps when the time limit expires, whereas others may exit earlier when stop losses or target profits thresholds are crossed. You can provide a list of columns be additionally listed. Here, the RSI column is supplied and its value at each entry point is listed. Thus, if your strategy used RSI as a feature to make its decisions, you could verify whether the values and predictions made were correct via manual inspection. Next, how to deploy your strategy and run it continuously via NUMIN. The API allows for remote deployment of your strategy. This automates the prediction and submission process. You upload your strategy file named strategy.py using upload file function, then deploy it with the deploy file function, providing your NUMIN user ID. This will run your strategy continuously on the NUMIN servers. Remember, only one file can be uploaded at a time, and only one strategy can run per user. This tutorial provides a foundation for using the NUMIN API. Remember to consult the official documentation on the NUMIN site, as well as on PyPy for comprehensive information and advanced features. Remember to replace placeholder API keys, file paths, and user IDs with your actual values.